In unimaginable places lies the treasure we seek, or maybe the gifts we don't know we need. I have a story for you, and it is Magic of the Sea. In a bustling coastal village named Bujang, where the rhythmic waves of the ocean met the golden sands, lived a humble fisherman named Kofi and his little son, Kweku. Kofi was known throughout the village for his skill in fishing and a kind-hearted nature. Every morning, he would set sail in his modest boat, casting his nets into the vast expanse of the sea, hoping for a bountiful catch. One bright and clear morning, as the sun began to rise over the horizon, Kofi decided to take his young son Kweku on a fishing trip. Kweku, who was only 8 years old, was thrilled at the prospect of spending the day with his father. He had often watched his father prepare for his fishing trips and dreamed of one day joining him. Kofi and Kweku boarded their small boat, a sturdy vessel made of wood with colorful patterns painted along the side. The boat rocked gently as they set out to sea, with Kweku eagerly clutching the fishing net and equipment. The two of them sang traditional songs as they sailed, their voices blending with the sounds of the waves. The day was perfect for fishing, with calm seas and gentle breeze. Kofi skillfully maneuvered the boat to a favored fishing spot, known for its abundant marine life. As Kweku watched in amazement, Kofi cast the net into the water, and they waited patiently for a catch. Hours passed with little luck, and Kweku began to lose hope. Just as he was about to suggest returning to the shore, Kofi's net felt unusually heavy. With a sense of excitement, Kofi and Kweku worked together to haul the net back into the boat. To their astonishment, they found out not just a collection of fish, but something quite extraordinary. Trapped among the fish was a small sparkling figure with long flowing hair and scales that glittered like jewels. It was a little mermaid, no larger than a child, who looked up at them with wide, frightened eyes. Her delicate tail flicked as she struggled to free herself from the net. Kofi was taken aback, having heard tales of mermaids but never believing them to be true. He gazed at the mermaid with a mixture of curiosity and awe. The mermaid, sensing Kofi's kind heart, stopped struggling and looked at him pleadingly. Kweku, who had been watching intently, was mesmerized by the sight. His eyes sparkled with wonder, and he reached out to touch the mermaid, but Kofi stopped him. He carefully untangled the net and held the mermaid in his hands, contemplating what to do with this magical creature. Deciding that such a rare catch should not be released back into the sea without further consideration, Kofi gently placed the mermaid into a wooden cage that he kept for storing his catch. The cage had small breathable openings and was lined with seaweed to make the mermaid comfortable. Kofi and Kweku took the cage back to their home, docked their boat, and carried the mermaid to their modest house near the shore. Once home, Kofi set the cage in a shaded corner of their small yard, ensuring that the mermaid had access to fresh seawater and a place to rest. He turned to Kweku and said sternly, "My son, the mermaid is very special and should not be treated lightly. You must never open the cage. It is important to respect her and keep her safe." Kweku, though disappointed, promised to obey his father's instructions. He was fascinated by the mermaid and spent hours watching her from a distance. Admiring her beauty and grace, the mermaid in turn would gaze back at him with a mixture of curiosity and sadness. Days turned into weeks, and Kweku's fascination with the mermaid grew stronger. He would sit near the cage and talk to her, telling her about his life, his dreams, and his family. The mermaid listened patiently, her eyes reflecting the deep, mysterious depths of the ocean. As time went on, Kweku's feeling for the mermaid began to change. He found himself enchanted by her gentle nature and the stories she shared about the ocean. Although they were separated by the bars of the cage, their bond grew stronger and Kweku began to fall in love with her. Despite his father's warning, Kweku could not bear to see the mermaid confide any longer. One night, under the cover of darkness, he made the decision to release her. With trembling hands, he unlocked the cage and gently opened the door. The mermaid looked at Kweku with a mixture of surprise and gratitude. She slowly swam out of the cage and hovered near him, her shimmering tail glittering in the moonlight. Kweku, overwhelmed with emotions, reached out to her, but she shook her head and gestured for him to follow her. Kweku hesitated for a moment, but then stepped forward, feeling a sense of both excitement and fear. The mermaid led him to the edge of the shore and beckoned on him to join her in the water. Kweku, trusting her completely, waded into the sea, feeling the cool water envelop him. As Kweku entered the water, the mermaid took his hand and guided him beneath the waves. The transition from the surface to the underwater world was smooth and surreal. Kweku found himself surrounded by a vibrant and magical underwater realm, a world he had never imagined existed. The underwater kingdom was filled with colorful coral reefs, schools of shimmering fish and fantastical sea creatures. The mermaid led Kweku through this wondrous world, showing him the beauty and diversity of the ocean. He saw majestic sea turtles gliding gracefully, playful dolphins leaping through the water, and vibrant exotic fish darting among the coral. As they explored, the mermaid introduced Kweku to the sea's secrets, and she showed him hidden caverns filled with ancient treasures and underwater garden where luminescent plants grew. Kweku was mesmerized by the sight of bioluminescent creatures that illuminated the ocean's depths with soft ethereal glow. The mermaid also took Kweku to meet her family and friends, a community of merfolk who welcomed him warmly. They lived in an underwater city made of coral and seashells, where they celebrated with music, dance, and storytelling. Kweku was amazed by the harmonious way of life and the sense of unity among the merfolk. Throughout his time underwater, Kweku learned about the delicate balance of the ocean's ecosystem and the importance of protecting it. The mermaid and her family shared their knowledge about the sea's fragile beauty and the threats it faced from human activities. Kweku was deeply moved by their stories and vowed to help them preserve the ocean's wonders. As the days passed, Kweku's love for the mermaid grew even stronger. He realized that his feelings for her were not just about their admiration, but a deep connection that transcended their different worlds. The mermaid too felt a strong bond with Kweku and cherished the time they spent together. However, Kweku also knew that he could not remain underwater forever. His father Kofi would be worried about him, and he had responsibilities and a life on the surface that he could not abandon. With a heavy heart, Kweku knew it was time to say goodbye to the mermaid and return to his life above the sea. The mermaid, understanding Kweku's dilemma, promised to visit him from time to time and keep their bond alive. She gave him a beautiful shell as a token of their love and a reminder of the magical world they had shared. Kweku promised to protect the ocean and continue spreading the message of its importance. As Kweku emerged from the water and returned to the surface, he felt a mixture of sadness and hope. The mermaid's presence has changed his life in ways he could never have imagined, and he was grateful for the experience. He climbed back onto the shore, where he found his father waiting anxiously. Kofi, relieved to see his son safe, embraced him tightly. Kweku shared his incredible story with his father, describing the wonders of the underwater world and the love he had found with the mermaid. Kofi listened with a mixture of awe and understanding, recognizing the profound impact the experience had on his son. Though Kofi was saddened by the loss of the mermaid, he respected Kweku's feeling and supported him in his mission to protect the ocean. Together, they worked to raise awareness about the importance of preserving marine life and the delicate balance of the ocean ecosystem. Kweku's experience with the mermaid became a cherished memory, and he often looked at the shell she had given him as a reminder of their time together. The legend of Kweku and the mermaid became a beloved tale in the village of Bojang, passed down through generations. It served as a reminder of the magic that exists in the world and the profound connections that can be forged between different realms. And so Kweku's journey from a curious boy to a dedicated protector of the ocean became a story of love, discovery, and the enduring bond between the humanity and the mysterious depths of the sea. Thank you for watching this story. Please remember to subscribe and hit the notification button to get more stories like this. My name is Thank God, and this is SY Times.